WXII 12 News at 4 starts right now.
Pam Bondi out at the Department of Justice, the favorite to replace her, and what led to this move.
Bullets hitting way too close to home. Hear from a Triad pastor about the moment her house was the target of a shooting.
And it was one of the biggest local upsets in last month's primary election. Surrey County will have a new sheriff in a few months. We sit down one-on-one with the county's incoming top cop.
Turning to the forecast now, a live look at Beach Mountain. It's a beautiful day out there. Some clouds moving in, but nice and warm too.
You could put that on a postcard, couldn't you? Somebody zooms in right on cue. Meteorologist Michelle Kennedy is leading us off here today on a Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Michelle, nice to see you.
Nice to see you,
It would be really nice to see some rain. Any of that coming?
Yeah, we are seeing some scattered shower chances over the next couple of days and a better chance of rain now as we lift you into the weekend for your Easter Sunday forecast. Look at that right now. We've got some scattered showers lifting up over areas of Ashe and Watauga County right now. So showers, isolated thunderstorms are with us through the next couple of days. Your temperatures are in the 80s currently. We've got your hour-by-hour forecast showing you those 80s turn into 70s a little later tonight. And those shower chances are going to be with us through early tomorrow morning with a spotty shower possible. No guarantee we're going to get a lot of rain on the ground, but we want to watch out for that early. And we may see those temperatures warm once again right back into the low 80s for you through the afternoon. It's warm and it's breezy with an isolated stray thunderstorm chance will take you into your Saturday. So really nice afternoons ahead of us. Just that shower chance, and you want to listen for thunder if you happen to be out on the golf course over the next couple of days. Then for the weekend, a much more active pattern developing, all thanks to a big powerful cold front that is going to bring in showers and even some thunderstorms by Sunday. Temperatures right now at 80 degrees. We've got you at 69 in Boone, so some rain cooled action there. Nice wind out of the south and southwest. This is helping us out. Look where we're heading though. Big changes coming our way Sunday into Monday. So Easter Sunday, not only will it be rainy, but starting to cool down. We'll talk more about it coming up.
Thanks, Michelle. A reminder, there is a statewide burn ban that is still in effect right now. For more information on the ban, including what is and is not prohibited, head to our website, WXII12.com.
Now to some breaking news.
The president has fired his Attorney General Pam Bondi. Sources say the president had been weighing this move for days now and had grown increasingly frustrated with Bondi on a number of issues, including her handling of records tied into the Jeffrey Epstein case and a lack of prosecutions targeting his political opponents. The latest reports indicate the president may place Bondi in a different role, such as potentially a judicial appointment.
As for her possible permanent replacement, President Trump has privately discussed EPA head Lee Zeldin for Attorney General. He was in our state earlier this week discussing his agency's new regulatory guidance for diesel engines and how it could impact farmers in North Carolina. In the meantime, President Trump has named Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche as acting Attorney General.
Still more breaking news on this Thursday. The state Supreme Court has thrown out a multi-billion-dollar plan to improve North Carolina public schools.
The 32-year-old lawsuit is known as Leandro. In a 4-3 ruling, the justices overturned a remedial plan to move taxpayer money to address school funding inequities statewide. The plaintiffs and defendants had agreed to the plan back in 2021. It would have increased spending on salaries and programs for students with disabilities and pre-K, among other things. State legislative leaders argued the court should not force the transfer of state funds without approval from the General Assembly.
Governor Josh Stein responded to the ruling, saying in part, quote, education opens doors of opportunity for children, but today the court slammed them in the face of students who deserve the right to a sound, basic public education. On the flip side, State Senate Leader Phil Berger from Rockingham County praised the decision, saying in part, for decades, liberal education special interests have improperly tried to hijack North Carolina's constitutional funding process. New at 4, terrifying video. Sounds like fireworks. It's not. Those show the moments that shots were fired at a Triad pastor's home. Right now, Winston-Salem police are still trying to find the gunman.
And our Joshua Davis spoke directly with the pastor whose house is now riddled with bullet holes.
Just after midnight on Sunday, Pastor Yvette Abbott was preparing food for her church's 21st anniversary when suddenly Shots rang out from outside her home on Northridge Drive. You can see from this surveillance video given to us by a neighbor the moment a car pulls up, then opens fire before speeding away. Yvette wasn't alone at the time. Both her mother and sons were also home. Inside, I saw the damage firsthand. Bullet holes in her bedroom walls, TV, even stretching into her bathroom.
Only thing I want to know, why? What was the motive? You know, it makes sense. I want to know, what was the motive? It was targeted to my bedroom. That's strange, you know, and I was like, everybody said, well, I'm a pastor. I don't, you know, I don't, I don't know what I could have done, you know, I don't know.
And Abbott says she's grateful this situation wasn't worse. She's safe, her family is safe, and they're hoping to regain a sense of security after dealing with this violent situation. In Winston-Salem, I'm Joshua Davis for WXII 12 News.
Joshua, thank you. People in Surry County will have a new sheriff at the end of the year. Brandon Johnson won the Republican primary, and since there is no Democratic challenger, he will be unopposed in the November general election. Chris Peterson spoke one-on-one with Johnson about what he plans to do after he takes office.
Brandon Johnson is 36 years old and his career in law enforcement only spans 13 years. He says he's focused on building trust with the community, and he has a heart for those recovering from addiction.
A lot of people has definitely commended me on my ability to speak in front of folks, but that night I was totally speechless.
Speechless after not only beating incumbent Sheriff Steve Hyatt, but doing it by nearly 2,000 votes.
I feel like it's a critical time that we need somebody younger in the position with more drive, more energy, that's going to be visible in the community, that's truly going to try to get out here and build on that community engagement, the community trust.
Johnson was set to become a civil engineer back in 2012 and enroll at UNC Charlotte when a ride-along with a family member in law enforcement changed his life.
Just that feeling of, seeing people in some of the darkest moments of their life and truly trying to be there to help people was the sense that I really, drove me to want to get into law enforcement the most of.
Johnson started out working in the Surry County Detention Center. He also served for 7 years as a narcotics officer. It was during this time that he saw the need to help those suffering from addiction. Johnson helped start the Breaking Chains Building Bridges outreach ministry. He says it's a way to spread love, hope, and transform lives.
In each one of our meetings, we have at least 2 folks in recovery share their testimony and story, and then we have at least 2 community resources. And by community resources, it could be someone that works for a rehab center, detox, mental crisis hotline, anybody in local and surrounding areas that's there to just truly help somebody in a crisis situation.
Johnson built strong community support during his campaign with increased digital engagement. He says from the time he entered law enforcement, he wanted to be sheriff.
I felt that calling more than anything. My faith played a huge part in that. A lot of prayers, a lot of thoughtful consideration. I didn't know when that time would truthfully come. I'd never dreamed that it would come at 36 years old, to be 100% honest with you.
Johnson says he is humbled and thankful for the support from the community. He officially takes office in December and says he'll hit the ground running. In Dobson, I'm Chris Peterson, WXII 12 News.
Chris, thank you. More Commitment 2026 news this afternoon. Democratic U.S. Senate candidate and former North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper has greater name recognition than the Republican nominee in this race, Michael Whatley. That is according to a new poll by Elon University. 70% of respondents say they have heard a great deal, or at least some, about Cooper. Meanwhile, 35% of those surveyed are as familiar with Whatley, who once chaired the Republican National Committee. When it comes to overall impressions of the candidates, 48% of registered voters view Cooper as very or somewhat favorable. Whatley has a lower favorability rating at 25%. However, 41% of registered voters say at this point they don't have an impression of him at all. Both candidates have until November 3rd to make their final appeals to voters.
Last night in a primetime address to the nation, President Trump made his case for what he says will be several more weeks of war with Iran. But the lack of specifics in his speech rattled markets overnight as attacks continue to spread across the Middle East. NBC senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez has the latest.
Overnight, President Trump, in a rare formal address from the White House, declaring the war with Iran a massive military success.
Tonight, I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion.
Among those objectives, he says, destroying Iran's Navy and missile program, as well as preventing the regime from building a nuclear bomb.
We are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong.
A U.S. official telling NBC News the military checklist for the war is almost complete. Overnight, Iran responding to the president, saying the U.S. has not destroyed key targets, adding, assuming they have, will, quote, only deepen the quagmire in which you have trapped yourselves, and warning the U.S. to expect more forceful, broader, and more destructive actions from us. Iran has also said it won't open the Strait of Hormuz for the U.S., blocking the critical global shipping lane. The president increasingly frustrated with global allies who have been reluctant to join the war and help protect the passageway.
The countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it.
Also predicting the strait will open when the conflict is over.
And coming up at 4:30, we'll take a closer look at the impacts of the conflict and how the situation is continuing to develop and what might happen next.
An historic NASA mission reaching uncharted territory already. We'll have details on the turning point that could send astronauts deeper into space than anyone's ever gone before when we return.
And a hit series renewed before its second season even premieres. Why some of the cast says this is new territory.
Elkin to Eden. WXII 12 News has you covered. Keep up with your local weather team across the Triad. Follow Michelle Kennedy on social media.
After a successful launch, the crew of the Artemis II has a big decision to make today: continue toward the moon or stay in Earth's orbit.
A decision that could send those astronauts deeper into space than anyone has gone before. Brian Abel joins us. He has the latest from Washington.
We circled it completely, and we forgot how beautiful it is to look down on Earth.
What a view for the 4-astronaut crew of NASA's Artemis II. Safely into space after a successful launch of its historic mission.
And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon.
Before they get to their lunar destination, though, a series of maneuvering tests of their chariot, the Orion spacecraft. Then, a decision point this evening to boldly go where no one has gone before or not.
That puts us outbound to the moon. That's a real big commit point.
If they do choose to continue, the roughly 6-minute translunar injection burn will increase Orion's velocity by about 900 miles per hour, propelling the capsule out of Earth's orbit toward the moon, then slingshotting it around our closest universal neighbor, where the crew will be in a space league of their own.
They're going much farther than the other crews have before. So this is really uncharted territory. It's really important because we've never been to that part. So you don't want to go somewhere you've never been. You don't know what the craters are like. So it's basically charting your way before you actually want to get there and land.
The mission testing our capacity for deeper exploration while inspiring a whole new generation.
I can't wait to see what this generation, the Artemis generation, drives from it.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
And if you missed yesterday's historic launch, we've got you covered. Or if you want to watch it again, just head to the WXII 12 News YouTube page. You can relive the whole thing.
You can learn more about our solar system this weekend right here in the Triad. In Guilford County, GTCC's Jamestown campus will host the Tri-Star Regional Astronomy Festival. It's scheduled for Saturday and runs from 9 to 5. The free event is open to the public and features presentations, displays, and observing opportunities for astronomy enthusiasts of all levels.
All right, let's talk about the forecast now. I'm not going to complain when the weather is the way it is. It's hot, though. Yeah. I would like to have a spring. I would rather it be a little warmer than usual than colder than usual.
Right.
But spring is nice. This isn't spring today, Lindsay.
No, yeah, it definitely feels like summer out there. Michelle, what is the high today?
Yeah, highs today so far are in the 80s, and we're now going to dip down into the 70s. It is still mild. Look at the start to our early morning. You know, we're still flirting with the 40s usually this time of the year for morning lows. Instead, we're going to be in the 60s. So afternoon highs have been running some 15 to 20 degrees above normal. We're seeing 80 degrees in Winston-Salem right now. And this is about the time that we hit our highs in the afternoon. So about 84 in Greensboro, 71 in West Jefferson. And you've got a couple of showers and isolated storms in those areas too. So hot temperatures for areas like Lexington, High Point, and the southern Piedmont especially, really warming up. 85 degrees in Lexington for that high temperature so far to 86. And you see dew point temperatures are also going to be coming up. We're going to be watching those maximum wind gust speeds also over the next couple of days, 15 to 25 miles an hour. That's a warm flow. And with it, you've got the rain chances that are going to be building for the afternoons here and there. So it's isolated in nature, and it only reinforces the drought conditions that we continue to see. 67 now this time of the year with 44 for morning lows. Instead, how about 60 degrees tomorrow? We'll take a rain chance of about 20% for a spotty shower or storm early. 80 degrees for late afternoon. Winds out of the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. 59 in the foothills and highs near 80 degrees with a rain chance of 20%. In East Bend, Mount Airy, really pleasant afternoon. It's those pop-up thunderstorms that we'll look at for the afternoons, and you want to hear a rumble of thunder or listen for that if you're out on the golf course or maybe the tennis course. Temperatures at 72 degrees in the mountains for your afternoon with 55 to start. So really warm area overall for all of us. Scattered showers and thunderstorms a possibility as we get you through the next couple of hours. We're focusing on the mountains because we're seeing that western ridge of our high pressure system. That's where we're seeing that weakening, that moisture also riding up along the mountains and the ridges, so that helps us out. We've got showers, we've got thunderstorm possibilities developing again by the afternoon, but limited. You see mostly in the mountains tomorrow, low 80s. And we go into your Saturday, similar weather. So a part of our holiday weekend is actually dry and beautiful and a little bit breezy. It will be breezy all the way through your Saturday, and by Sunday we'll talk about those showers and storms becoming more numerous, especially later in the day. And you notice that between 3 and 4 o'clock we might have a little bit better coverage on Saturday, and then by Sunday we're talking about a major front coming in. And so with the weekend coming up, you want to be prepared for showers on your early Easter sunrise service, especially in the mountains, and the mountains around 4 in the afternoon could still have some scattered showers, but it's early mornings as we get you into your early Sunday. You can see here showers will spread east. From west to east you'll get those temperatures in the 50s with 60s out there through the afternoon, and then temperatures continue to drop off. So colder mornings will be on the back edge of this cold front, and we'll be watching for the 60s for early tomorrow, 50s in the foothills as well as the mountains. And your North Carolina burn ban, a reminder, is still in effect. Even though we have seen some showers, it's been super spotty. Yesterday we had some good rain in Wilkes County area, helping with some of the fire danger concerns, but that's going to be with us. And so pollen counts for you, trees high. We've also got grasses reporting in the moderate range and low for weeds. So if you're an allergy sufferer and suddenly you're having some more trouble, this could be why. We're also looking at those shower chances building in advance of that cold front with some help aloft. We're going to be watching our mid and upper level jet stream wind speed as we go into the weekend, because that's going to have a lot to do with what we see come our way Sunday. And it looks like more measurable rainfall, anywhere from 1/4 of an inch up to 1/2 an inch for some folks, and where you see those thunderstorms too. We're going to talk more about it and your impact day for Sunday. It's all coming up.
All right, Michelle, talk to you in a few. WXII has a big announcement coming your way.
And your only clue is this: it's something you'll finally be able to watch live right here on WXII 12.
To quote the great Ron Burgundy, it's kind of a big deal. Trust us, this is something you don't want to miss. Be sure to tune in. We will share that for you at 5 o'clock. That's when the big reveal is.
And it's an exciting day. It's sure to have everybody talking, so stay tuned and tune in at 5.
All right, right here, right now, it is 4:20. Let's get a first check on traffic. Oh boy, a little bit of slow and go here. This is 52, not unusual for this time of day. The northbound lanes on the right-hand side screeching along right now. DOT not reporting any crashes here. We'll keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't get any worse.
When a male lays out in the sun, in the nude, his testosterone levels go up by 400 times.
All right. A backyard sunbathing session ends in an arrest. What you need to know about local laws when we return.
But first, a hidden danger, the common item that sends a child to the ER every 35 minutes, and the storage change that you can make to protect your family.
From Graham to Greensboro, WXII 12 News has you covered. Keep up with your local news team across the Triad. Follow Lindsay Klein on social media.
The stars of Jon Hamm's Your Friends and Neighbors are back for season 2.
The series is set to return with more drama, tension, and plenty of buzz surrounding its latest chapter.
And Rick Damigella has a preview with the cast.
I was playing the long game, and that game was just getting started.
Jon Hamm and Amanda Peet are back in season 2 of Your Friends and Neighbors.
You were gonna destroy my family. I panicked.
Do I need to worry about you?
Her being around, how does it not bother you?
The series was picked up for a 3rd season months before the 2nd season premiere. Amanda Peet says this is new territory for her.
It's never happened to me in my whole life. So it's really pretty crazy on many levels. It's happening to me at age 54 that I'm getting a 3rd season on a TV show for the first time.
It lets me keep certain writers, it lets me keep crew together, it lets us really stay immersed in the world and the show. And so I think, we're operating on all cylinders and we never let up, and that's a great way to make a show.
I can't focus on my writing, which could just be because I suck at writing, but I help.
And in case you slept on the 1st season,
My character Mel is divorced from Coop, who is the star of the show, played by Jon Hamm. And we are divorcees who still seem to kind of have the hots for each other. But also we drive each other insane. And so there's a little bit of a will they, won't they aspect to their relationship.
Are terrible people.
I was playing the long game.
in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
For the first time since the war with Iran began, our president speaks how much longer he says the fighting could go on.
Plus, scammers capitalizing on the war in Iran, why experts say the conflict could put your money at risk.
And we've had a really nice warm and dry stretch, but now we're coming up on the weekend talking about your Easter holiday forecast. We'll let you know when the rain might move in.
You're watching WXII 12 News.
a beautiful day out there looking over Blues Lake there. It's just a gorgeous day to be out by the water.
Once again, I think we had this conversation with Lainey the other day. How is there no one there? Maybe they're way, way off in the distance, Michelle.
Yeah, maybe they knew they could only spend an hour or two out there and then had to head into work. I don't know, maybe. But we've got the beautiful weather for you coming up. We're talking about some wind out there. It's been breezy and beautiful. And of course, we're looking at those shower and thunderstorm possibilities each afternoon as well. But we're looking at the thunderstorm possibilities because of a cold front. So that same front is going to come our way. As we head into the next 24 hours, we're going to notice it's going to get a little bit closer. You might actually have a little bit more cloud cover by late Saturday too. But those showers and thunderstorms becoming more numerous first along our mountain ridges. That's what we're seeing today. So that southerly breeze just lifting some of that moisture right over areas like Jefferson. And it's been light and spotty so far. And that's really where we have the best opportunity for a thunderstorm tonight. Can't rule out one or two over the northern foothills and Piedmont, but most areas will be dry in the Triad. Temperatures right now in the low 80s. We're seeing highs that have warmed into the mid and upper 80s in a few spots of the southern Piedmont. Look at those, 87 degrees in High Point right now, 86 so far in uptown Lexington. We will take it. Typically seeing mid 60s this time of the year. We've got temperatures in the 60s and upper 50s, a rain chance of about 20% for you overnight. And those shower chances come up again for the afternoon, a 20% chance with low 80s out there. It's a warm south-southwest breeze again on our Friday, and then we pump up the moisture, and that brings us up to a weather impact day for you on Sunday. This is your Easter Sunday, and so that does mean we'll have to have the umbrellas nearby, rain jackets too for you as scattered shower possibilities develop, especially Sunday for shower chances. And even some thunderstorms in the morning hours are possible. We think that most of the rain could be held off in the Triad for that Easter sunrise service, but toward the end, we might start to get some showers and scattered rain activity going. We'll have more idea on the timing too, and more precise details as we get closer to it. But right now, umbrellas, rain gear needed Sunday morning. We'll have much more for you coming up.
And if you haven't already, now is a good time to download the free WXII 12 News mobile app. You can sign up to get weather alerts sent right to your phone so you always have the latest, most updated forecast.
We are following another major shakeup tonight inside the Trump administration. The president says his Attorney General Pam Bondi is leaving the DOJ. Our White House correspondent Christopher Salas is on the North Lawn this afternoon. Christopher.
President Donald Trump is losing one of his most loyal defenders. Pam Bondi is leaving the Department of Justice after months of political blowback and turmoil. On social media, the president praised Bondi, calling her tenure tremendous, but saying she's now heading to the private sector. He also said Bondi's deputy and his former personal defense attorney, Todd Blanche, will serve as acting attorney general. Bondi said her time at the Justice Department was an honor, and she praised the work fighting crime during her tenure. She also led a dramatic shakeup at the DOJ, with firings, resignations, and investigations targeting some of President Trump's political foes. Critics say that made the Justice Department look more like a political weapon than an independent agency. But allies say she was carrying out the president's agenda on crime, immigration, and what they saw as past abuses of power. In the final months of her time at the DOJ, there was growing bipartisan backlash over the department's handling of files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Congressional Democrats say Bondi still needs to testify before them on that matter. Bondi's exit is just the latest turnover within the administration. It comes weeks after former DHS Secretary Kristi Noem was removed from the cabinet. At the White House, I'm Christopher Salas, WXII 12 News.
And there continues to be a lot of developments regarding the Iran war. In President Trump's first primetime speech since starting the war in Iran, he said U.S. forces will finish the job soon. Right now, the United Nations Secretary General is calling for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Not only is the waterway the key shipping lane for roughly 1/5 of the world's oil, but it also carries medicine and food into crisis zones, according to the International Rescue Committee.
Gas prices across the country and here at home continue to climb. The national average for a gallon of regular now sits at $4.08. Here in North Carolina, the average is $3.91. That is up about $1.15 in the last month and up 14 cents in just the last week. If you think prices are high here, be glad you don't live out west. Gorda, California, the highest price for gas in the nation on average. That is not a mistake. $9.99 for premium, $9.49 for regular. Wow.
That's insane. I just saw it right now and I couldn't believe it. It was it's not something I'm used to.
I'm a tourist, but for me that's
too high, too expensive.
There are only a few gas stations in between for drivers in that coastal area, so they don't really have too many options. We were told the owner of that gas station is limited by the number of digits on his gas pump, so it literally cannot go for any higher than 9999.
As the war in Iran continues, scammers are already finding ways to exploit the conflict. National consumer correspondent Ali Jasinski explains the latest tricks and how you can protect yourself.
We're seeing a new twist on some familiar scams. The Federal Trade Commission says it's getting reports of scammers using the conflict in Iran to try to steal your money and personal information. Here are 3 scams to watch out for. First, the fraud alert scam. You get a call or a text that looks like it's from your bank warning about charges from Iran. Then you're transferred to someone claiming to be with a government agency like the FTC, for example, who asks for your bank information. Now, government agencies will never ask for your financial details. Second, a romance scam with a twist. Someone you've been talking to online says they've been deployed to Iran and suddenly needs money for an emergency or because they can't access their account. Either way, that's a major red flag. Third, fake charities. Scammers may claim they're helping people affected by the conflict and pressure you to donate using gift cards, cryptocurrency, or wire transfers. That's another sign it's a scam. If you think you've encountered one of these scams, report it to the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov. Reporting in New York, I'm Ali Jasinski.
Now here's a look at some of the other top stories we are following this Thursday afternoon.
And first we start with breaking news out of Guilford County. We've just learned that crash in Greensboro this morning was deadly. It happened around 7 a.m. between Glendale Drive and Elmsley Street. Video from the scene shows a bicycle lying in the road and a pickup truck nearby. Our crews also saw detectives taking photos and measurements along with a crime scene investigation van. Investigators say a pickup truck traveling south struck the victim, who was traveling in the left turn lane on an e-bike. The victim was taken to the hospital where they died from their injuries. GPD's crash reconstruction unit continues to investigate.
In Randolph County, State Highway Patrol is searching for a driver accused of being involved in a hit and run that injured a pedestrian. It happened overnight about 4 in the morning. This happened on Highway 64 near Vista Parkway in the westbound lanes, not too far from Ashboro. Troopers tell us the person who was struck is in the hospital and is being treated for serious injuries. Highway Patrol is not sure what model the suspect's vehicle was, but they believe it is white and has front end damage. Anyone who knows anything about this should call Star HP.
And now to Wilkes County. Crews are gaining more control of a wildfire that's been burning for several days off Cane Creek Church Road. The North Carolina Forest Service says the fire is now 90% contained with around 600 acres burned. This comes amid a statewide burn ban.
In 12 on Your Health, over the next few weeks, the CDC will pause testing for several viruses. This lapse will impact testing for rabies and the family of viruses, including smallpox and monkeypox. Typically, the CDC offers testing services to state and local public health labs that can't do it themselves. According to the New York Times, widespread layoffs and resignations have limited the number of qualified scientists who can run these tests. During the pause, officials say the CDC will help public health agencies find the testing they need. Unintentional injuries remain a leading cause of death among U.S. children through age 17. Firearms are a leading cause within that category, and new research out just today shows there's another danger lurking in our homes that continues to send young children to the ER in big numbers.
Experts are now warning these accidents are preventable. Mandy Gaither has a look at the latest data in today's Health Minute.
It's not a new danger, but new data shows household cleaning products remain a major risk to curious young children.
They can be harmful. They can be dangerous. They can be deadly, depending on what it is and how much might be ingested.
Dr. Lara McKenzie with Nationwide Children's Hospital is one of the authors of this study just published in the medical journal Pediatrics. The researchers combed through 16 years of data and found more than an estimated 240,800 U.S. emergency room visits for children 5 years and younger linked to injuries from household cleaning products. McKenzie says that's one injury every 35 minutes.
People have a lot of products in their house. Kids spend a lot of time at home, especially, very young children. So It's kind of like the perfect storm.
McKinsey says hospitalizations for household cleaner-linked injuries have risen by 1.5% over about 2 decades. Bleach, detergent, especially detergent pods, are the products that most commonly lead to those injuries, but parents can help prevent children from being hurt.
The best thing to do is store those cleaning products in their original containers, but up high, out of sight, and out of reach, preferably in a locked cabinet or closet.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Getting a check on traffic, a live look at US 52 at MLK. Things are moving well here in both directions at 439.
The 254th Moravian Easter Sunrise Service is just about here. We'll let you know when and how you can catch that service live.
Plus a dozen ducklings with a lot to be thankful for coming up the rescue that has them back on dry land.
First Warning Radar, the Triad's only local live radar, exclusively on WXII 12 First Warning Weather.
In South Carolina, a man was arrested for indecent exposure after sunbathing alone and naked in his own backyard.
Peyton Furtado from our sister station spoke with the man at his home and takes a look at the law that led to his arrest.
Privacy or public indecency, it's a fine line.
Laying out in the sun, even in the nude, there's nothing wrong with it.
John Sullivan is a tad overdressed today. Normally, he works out and sunbathes in his backyard and Fountain Inn in a thong or naked and unafraid.
When a male lays out in the sun in the nude, his testosterone levels go up about 400 times.
After an accident, he says his doctor recommended exercising and getting outdoors. He was arrested in his backyard March 13th, charged with indecent exposure.
It's a statute that actually carries some teeth. This particular statute, indecent exposure, carries up to 3 years and could land you on the sex offender registry.
Attorney Beatty Ashmore has represented a case like this before. He laid bare South Carolina's law.
you're free to do what you care to do on your property, to include sunbathing in the nude. The problem comes in if the general public can see you. And so then the question becomes, are they going out of their way to view you? Have you taken preventative measures to keep others, the public driving by and or neighbors from seeing you?
It's definitely impressive.
And at about 8 feet tall, this side of John's fence is impressive.
This side, however, not as much.
Have you ever considered building a more solid fence over here so that no one can see you through that fence?
I considered everything under the sun at any time, but this right here is $12,000.
We tried to talk to neighbors with no success. The deputy who arrested Sullivan wrote in his report he could clearly see Sullivan naked through the fence.
I think people look over here at a beautiful buff bull of an alpha male living a wonderful life from a car garage with a porch built on it, and they see something they want to destroy. Just like everybody else that sees beautiful people doing beautiful things with a beautiful life.
The case now to be decided in a court of law this May.
All right, well, in case you're wondering, sunbathing nude on your property privately is generally legal in North Carolina and Virginia if you have a reasonable expectation of privacy, such as a fenced backyard.
Let's move on, and quickly. In Virginia, an animal control officer is being dubbed a hero for saving several baby ducks. We have the video. Colonial Heights Animal Control says these mallard ducklings were trapped in a drain, like sitting ducks, if you will, until an officer jumped in and took them under her metaphorical wing. Wow, lots of puns in this one, Lindsay. Now the dozen ducklings are back on dry ground.
Those are cute ducks there. The Final Four is just days away with the NCAA tournament semifinals set for Saturday in Indianapolis. UConn set to suit up against Illinois first at 6:09 p.m. A matchup of the 1 seed Michigan and Arizona will follow at 8:54. The national champion will be decided April 6th. Then the women's Final Four tips off tomorrow in Phoenix. The South Carolina Gamecocks will face the UConn Huskies in the first game. UCLA will face Texas in the second game.
We are also closing in on the Kentucky Derby. At Churchill Downs, the sign between the famed twin spires was changed. It used to read Derby 151. Now it reads Derby 152. And that young woman got a picture of it. 152nd edition of the Run for the Roses is happening Saturday, May 2nd. You can almost hear the
And it almost feels more like May than it does April today out there.
Yeah, warm one, Michelle.
It is warm. We've got temperatures that just have soared into the 80s again. So nice stretch of 80s this week. And we're about to change things up as we get into the weekend. You can see the warmth spreading out across the southeast, really holding us off from the cold air that's spread off up into Canada and parts of the northern plains. So we're actually 3 degrees cooler right now than where we were yesterday at this time. But that's all right. We're still in the 80s in most areas. We're 85 degrees in uptown Lexington still. We're watching a couple of these, what we call ridge runners, those showers that lift up along the mountain ridges and just kind of roll in that flow. And that's what we expect to see with an isolated storm here and there over the next couple of days before we get to the main event, which is the rain coming in with a cold front on Sunday. Anything to help wash out this pollen would be really nice. High counts for trees. We're looking at grasses also reporting at the moderate level. No weeds today, but as we get you going into the next couple of days, we expect weeds to come up, grasses and trees all together. So it could be a little rough going for allergy sufferers. You can see here scattered showers lifting in around that ridge of high pressure. So that clockwise flow that's off the coast right now, helping to bring in a little bit of moisture for folks in the mountains. But for most areas, it's dry, it's sunny, and it's just breezy. We've got a front stretched out to our north. And unfortunately, it has meant that we've had very dry conditions. 2 weeks ago, we had seen minor improvements in areas of the foothills. And you can see that here. Severe weather, though, continuing to stretch out for most areas, and that has gotten worse. It's actually spread out. You can see it here kind of closing in on the moderate drought for folks in the mountains as well down to the south, starting to see those areas creep even smaller. And unfortunately, that means that 79.8% of our state is under severe drought right now and about 10% under the extreme drought. And so we're moving in that direction, but we need to get some rain on the ground. Looks like 60 degrees tomorrow morning in the Piedmont Triad. Not a lot of rain on the ground, but rain chances will keep it at 20%. Maybe a spotty shower in the morning and a stray afternoon storm. Foothill temperatures at 59 degrees, Warmington near 80, winds out of the south-southwest at about 5 to 12, 8 to 15 in the mountains with some higher gusts, 20 to 25, 72 for an afternoon high. So really pleasant weather. And then we see those temperatures continue to cool off a little bit as the rain moves in on Sunday. So we have a nice Thursday afternoon, or evening I should say, after dinner for walks, and then tomorrow morning we're comfortable in the 60s. You've got 80s again on your Friday. Possibility of a pop-up storm, but that's about it. We'll notice a cloud starting to stretch in by Saturday morning. It keeps us in the low to mid 60s for morning lows. And we see some spotty showers through Saturday afternoon building. Better chances of rain also for late Saturday night into Sunday morning. And here's where it comes in. 6 a.m., just before sunrise for the mountains, the western foothills. We might have some spotty showers already in the tride, so this could interfere with that Easter sunrise service that's planned for Sunday. However, I know a lot of folks will bring umbrellas and grab your rain gear. We may need it. At least it's warm, right, compared to some of the other Easter sunrise services that we've had where it's been very cold and even in the 30s. 60s will make it a little bit more comfortable if you have to deal with the rain. Here comes the cold front, and it's going to sweep in from the west, and it continues to move through the day into early Monday morning, and it allows for temperatures to dip into the 40s for Monday morning, with temperatures returning into the 60s for afternoon highs early next week. So your Easter holiday weekend, it's an impact day on Sunday for good rain chances, and that puts us with temperatures in the 70s early part of the day, cooling into the 60s. Similar conditions in the foothills. You may not make it out of the 60s, and we'll see those temperatures tumble a little later on. Rain chances are high, though, 70%. Might even have some rumbles of thunder as we start off the morning, and then things start to change to mostly showers. Scattered showers and storm chances also rising in the mountains a little bit sooner on Saturday. Here's that impact forecast and the 7-day forecast stretching out for you with isolated storm chances as we get you into the weekend. We're going to have much more for you and impact for you on Sunday. It's all coming up.
Giving back while fighting back, how a boy battling cancer is spreading holiday cheer to other kids in the hospital.
We're here outside Truist Field in uptown Charlotte, where just yesterday Wake Forest took on Clemson, a win for the Deacs. But we're not talking baseball here. We've got a big surprise to unveil at 5 o'clock right here on WXII, and here's your hint. It does involve the Queen City. We got all those details coming up.
4:54, final check on traffic in this hour. This is 52 North at Research Parkway. 0 issues to report this afternoon. In Alaska, a little boy facing his own medical battle is now giving back to other children in the hospital.
Danny Tompkins shows us how this act of kindness is bringing comfort and inspiration to families during the Easter season.
Nathan Yule knows these hallways. But this week, he's not here for himself.
You remember this floor?
When we first met Nathan at the beginning of March, he had a goal: help other kids feel
calm, maybe, or like excited, maybe.
Now, he makes sure other kids had a chance to feel that. More than 100 Easter baskets delivered. Nurse manager Nikki Thurwanger says they overflowed the carts at Providence Children's Hospital.
4 carts down, and we were like, this is perfect, and the baskets were so big, and we got to just keep seeing more and more come.
The amount of support shocked Nathan's mom, Dina.
This is all from donations.
More than $2,000 in the first 24 hours. What you're watching required more than donations to pull off.
It's emotional. When I was first told that he had cancer, it was devastating.
Stage 4, Hodgkin's lymphoma. But Nathan had other plans.
Because I like getting gifts in the hospital, so
he hopes kids feel
the same way.
Thurwanger believes they will.
These are my favorite ones, though.
When the kiddos are here, every day becomes challenging and hard, and you look for the little things. So I think that's what things like this give back.
Nathan's gift doesn't just reach children like him. It hits closest to home.
He's amazing. I wish I had half the strength he does. He's constantly, Mom, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay.
I think for a kid who is going through something really challenging themselves medically, and his family, to then think, how can I give to the next kid who's going to be going through something hard, is just shows that he's brave and compassionate and is truly inspiring.
2 more treatments stand between Nathan and an all clear. But this week, he wasn't counting down. He was giving back.
Wonderful story there. Here in the Piedmont Triad, you can begin your Easter Sunday by viewing one of the largest and oldest sunrise services in the whole country right here on WXII. Home Moravian Church will hold its 254th annual Easter sunrise service in Winston-Salem, with worshipers gathering in Old Salem before making the walk to God's Acre. You can catch it live Sunday starting at 6:10 in the morning.
And humans aren't the only ones gearing up for the Easter holiday. Take a look at these adoptable cats at the Guilford County Animal Shelter, all dressed up for the holiday, looking for some loving homes. The shelter will be closed tomorrow for Good Friday, but it will be back open for visitors all weekend, including on Easter Sunday. And yes, officials say they are as soft as they look. How cute. That's going to do it for us here at 4.
Don't go far. WXII 12 News at 5 with a special announcement is next.